Hello viewers, Super GT here, how are we doing? Okay, so off of the back of the Lando 1v1 video, you might remember we had a bit of discussion. So I've had more talks with Lando and with Quadrant, and happily they've decided to put me through a whole year of karting. They're going to sponsor me for the year. I'm going to be doing the UKC series. So this is a massive step up compared to everything I've done before. So for the last sort of 10, 12 years, I've been doing a lot of Club 100, you might have watched those videos, but this represents a whole new challenge. I've got a lot of learning to do. I've got to go to a lot of new tracks, drive a whole new type of kart, which I'm not really that familiar with. But this is going to be a really cool challenge. I'm going to be doing it throughout the year. Quadrant are backing it, so really happy that they see some potential in me. So hopefully you can stick around for the journey and enjoy it and see how I progress throughout the year.
So what is the plan for today?
I'm here at Whilton ahead of the first round of the UKC is in 2 weeks, but I need to get as much practice in these karts as possible. I've done a lot in Club 100, you may well have watched those videos. It almost counts for nothing here. These are different karts, I need to learn how to drive this type of kart in a different way. I've had a lot of practice at this track, Whilton Mill, I've done lots of laps here, but during the season there's 3 tracks I haven't been to. Larkhall, Rowrah, Warden, never been to them. Now this is very much a positive video of course, but it does come with some sadness because I am going to be retiring. The white helmet design, the iconic, the legendary white design will be no more after this weekend. In time for the first round in a few weeks, I'm going to have a custom paint job, but it's a very sad moment, you know, to say goodbye to such an iconic design. It's taken me so long to get a design. Everyone's been hammering me about this, about why I haven't got one, but finally, trust me, it's going to happen. So one of the reasons we're doing the UKC is because they allow the use of cameras. Not many championships do actually. I can't use the helmet camera, so that's a thing of the past unfortunately for the most part. I know I used it on the Lando video, but we had the track to ourselves, so we're allowed. But on these race meetings, this is the angle we're going to be getting. So you can see actually a lot of the pedal inputs, you see the steering. So it's actually it's still a good camera angle actually. I actually do like this view. Plus, yeah, it's got the stabilisation. Whilton Mill is the bumpiest track on earth, but yeah, should be good. There are no discos. The quavers are pretty good, right? Did you know Lewis Hamilton eats these before the race? That's why he wins so much. Yeah, there's a fair amount of pressure here, I suppose, because you know Quadrant and Lando will be looking on. They're sponsoring me, so you know I've got to deliver. I've got to make sure that I do a good job. We're also with a really good team. Dan Holland Racing is the team, or DHR. They're going to be the team that are running me and will be providing mechanics and the kart, etc. So they're a really good team, a lot of success. So I've got to really live up to a lot of expectation. So I've really got to make sure that I take this seriously. So here it is, the Quadrant race suit, looking good. I've even got the gloves, Quadrant gloves, and Quadrant inspired boots. Hopefully it's worth a couple of tenths at least because I think I'll need it. So it's the kart I'll be racing for the year, as you can see, of course, decked out with the Quadrant livery. Number 90, that's my number for the year. But yeah, I mean, it's a Senior X30. I would normally do this track in 54 seconds in the Club 100 kart. This will do it in 44. So you can tell from that it's a lot quicker. The brakes, the acceleration, top speed, pretty much everything about it. And it normally does have wheels. So yeah, we're not going to be floating about. Another thing I have to think about is like crash damage. You know, in higher karting, you can just crash the crap out of the car, and you can just walk home. You don't have to pay for it. But here, now if I have a crash, that's a part that I have to replace, and that costs money. So I have to really think about that and make sure we don't crash too much. So I'm here doing the Whilton Mill Club round, really just as a practice, just to really get used to what a race meeting is like, and you know, how it feels to race these karts, what the other guys are like, what the racing is like. how aggressive they are, will they punt me off, you know, all these things. And of course, we have to wear in the new Quadrant equipment. Show off the brand, show off our sponsor, as you do in the world of motorsport. So obviously you're all going to go over to the website and buy all the merchandise, aren't you? Thank you. Just going to finish off my quavers just to get that last tenth. It's really a case of you just got to get out there and just feel what.
Yeah, I think today, like
are.
especially this morning, you just get out there. Obviously, it's going to be full of grid, and it's going to be good to just have a bit of a chase, get in amongst the other drivers, and just sort of see where we're at to begin with. And then obviously we know what we can work on from there, really. So.
Do you know, excuse me, do you know which one's the throttle and which one's the brake?
I am subscribed, yes.
Steve, we're a big fan. This man is karting because of you.
Oh, good stuff. Okay. Just started this year.
Yeah, this is his third race. You're going to be at the front, right?
For 5 seconds, maybe. There's a lot to learn here.
Is that? Well, the Lando stuff was really good. So
It was good
we
fun.
have every confidence.
You see the odd little spots, like it's just to be wary of it, but don't back right on straight away.
This is
Like that's not affecting it at all. How's your seat feel?
right now. But I think it's just when you go out and track, you can't quite tell. Okay, here we go for our first proper practice session in the Senior X30. We've got a lot to learn, a lot to adapt to, and let's go in straight at the deep end at the club meeting. Plenty of very quick drivers here, so we've got to go and mix ourselves in with all of them, and you pretty much get carried along to some extent by the quicker guy. Someone's already binned it there. 2 seconds out of the pit lane. So it's a fairly cold day for March, for May, sorry, in Whilton Mill. Kind of typical British weather. You can see it's very cloudy, and it's been a very strange month in the sense that it's been all over the place with the weather. Bit of contact there, but we get through just fine. Got to be wary of that. The tyres, as you can see, very, very cold. It does feel like you're a bit like on ice at the beginning. So we've got to be nice and diligent getting those tyres warmed up. You just got to attack this first lap and just really get some life into the tyres, because they really do heat up, and you feel a massive difference in the amount of grip you get compared to from the first lap to, let's say, like the third lap. Big difference. Okay. So first lap there, nicely done, and we just got ourselves behind some other drivers. I don't really know too many other drivers at this point, so we're just gonna, just do our thing and just try and blend in as best we can. Now I do know this guy, number 99, Lucas Ellingham. He was the Junior X30 champion, now into seniors, very, very fast, and this is the kind of guy we need to get behind. So we can just learn. You see there immediately through turn 1 is a bit quicker, through turn 2 a lot quicker on the power, so much earlier. And then he's just already going up the inside of the next driver. So that's the kind of thing we need to be paying attention to. As I know a lot of you will think that the Club 100, I had success there, but this is completely different. It takes a lot of learning. I have to really adapt my technique, drive differently. The cars are a lot quicker as well, of course. So there's no guarantee of success here at all. You have to start again almost from scratch and really go again. Now this was a very interesting moment. It is a dry session, but coming into turn 1, just take a look at what happens. So barely, what, 3 laps in, and we've gone flying into the barrier already. Barrier, aka the Shadow Realm, has been visited. Let's take another look. We turned in, and I think it's about 5 of us all got caught out. We just couldn't tell. There was just, I think what it was, someone leaked some radiator fluid onto the track, and Matt actually managed to capture this from an external POV. You see all of us, actually 6 of us go off there into the wall. So rather interesting way to get introduced to my first club meeting in the X30. You can see there's actually some grass on the camera. Come in to say hi. So that was the end of the first session, not a very long session. But we come in, give these guys some high fives, and we'll have a bit of a chat about how it went.
Just a little bit more committed into the corners. I really look like
attacked it a bit more.
Yeah. Steve.
That was scary.
I had a massive crash. I think someone brought on a load of water, and then going into turn 1, 0 grip, just went flying into the wall. It was actually quite fun. At one point, number 99, Lucas Ellingham, went past me. He's very, very quick, junior champion last year. So you're just learning a thing or two from the quick guys, and I just got to mix myself in, you know, with the fast guys and just learn a lot from them. So
We're certainly going to have a good race, I think, anyway. Sometimes we look like we sort of went like that, and then you're like sort of controlling, you don't quite get the exit.
yes,
Whereas if you just go in and really sort of push on the wheel, it will help the car turn a little bit easier.
Got 2 seconds, go.
Yes! Yes! I've got to be in the video! Yes!
Who's the best YouTuber in the world?
Steve Brown, Super GT.
You heard it. He knows his stuff, this kid. Just had a chat with Daryl about that first session. It's just really adapting the way I'm driving. I'm not going in hot enough, not being aggressive enough, not getting the tyres warmed up fast enough. So just got. It's almost like, it sounds weird, but it's almost like you don't turn the wheel. You kind of push the outside of the wheel. You kind of lock your outside arm. So there's these really different sort of driving techniques which I need to make them natural. Because at the moment I'm having to really think about everything I'm doing, and it's not quite normal yet. Yeah. So a massive part of this is really just making the kart really comfortable. Of course, that's a really part of the kart. So we've got a lot of padding here. Just trying to make sure that when I'm in the car, I'm not moving about and I feel comfortable. Yeah, so this one is just making sure that I'm supported in the lower back. So up here's okay, but here I'm maybe sliding about a little bit. That's the missing half a second right there.
You feel there's a little bit of a gap there, but I think you should make it like more on your hip bone there, make you feel a bit more held in.
I think that's good. So this is just typical British summer where it's raining. So I need to get this dark visor off, put a clearer one on so I can actually see. Felipe, baby, stay cool, we're in a good position, we'll bring you the white visor.
So what's Steve's needing to sort of really work on, just to like sort of get a bit more ahead?
Just working on really attacking the track. It's fairly cold today, so it's quite difficult to get the car and the tyres warmed up at the start of the session. And then he's got to really work on just attacking the track all the way through each lap, really making sure you're pushing that brake in as late as you can, carrying as much minimum speed through the corners. Just not slowing it down too much, really just let it flow. That's the difference between the guys who are going to be fastest and everyone else.
Okay, a few more sessions here, trying to learn as much as possible. And one of the tips, there are 2 main tips really that I really need to get hold of, and one is, as we said, sort of pushing on the wheel. So if you're turning right, you're pushing with your left hand on the outside. The other tip is, in these cars, it really helps just to keep the brake locked going into the corner. So I'm so used to holding the brake in a straight line and then turning, but in these you kind of have to keep the brake pinned into the apex. It really keeps the kart settled, because as soon as you lift, the kart just wants to oversteer and it just doesn't like that. So these two little things that really does help, just with the balance of the kart, the way that the kart feels. Because if you start doing it wrong, it does actually become quite unpredictable in terms of how it drives. But we're mixing in with the local Whilton X30 population. We're not getting completely trounced by everyone. I am a bit overweight for this category, I must say, but luckily, you know, I'm not the slowest person, so there is some refuge there that I can take. I'm not getting absolutely destroyed by everyone. By a lot of people, yes, including here Sam Heading. He won the first round, or the round in April, so clearly a very quick driver. And again, just try and follow him, learn what we can. Obviously, he pulls away pretty quick. He was absolutely rapid in this session, but from the couple of corners that you are behind them, you can just, you know, you can learn a thing or two about what they're doing and how they're doing it. We brought it in after this session. There were 5 sessions this day, I think. But as we mentioned earlier, the very unpredictable weather made its appearance once again, and as you can see, we're on now wet tyres. Something different than Club 100. Of course, in Club 100 it's always slick tyres, so here we have actual wet tyres. So that's something else to get used to. So you can, in many ways, just drive the dry line a bit slower, which is something you normally wouldn't do. But we're out here just really trying to figure out where the grip is, and a lot of the time you see here just clunking completely over the curb, and this is something else that I really have to get used to, is how much you can abuse curbs. You really can just chuck these cars all over the curbs, and they just really do respond well in most instances. So here's Lucas Ellingham once again. So he's just coming up the inside, and this is something we're learning about the way that people race here. So in many ways, in the rain, you really do have to protect the inside if you're in a group, otherwise people will just go up your inside and they kind of block past you, so you can't cut them back on the exit. So here we're just going to kind of learn from Lucas. He did that to me on the previous lap, we're just going to do that to that guy there. Then there's a bit of an incident here. Not quite sure exactly what happened, but 2 of the drivers there getting caught up with each other. I think one of them was Lucas. So, well, we luckily avoided that. Sounds like I'm underwater now, this camera suffering slightly from the aquatic conditions, but that was the end of that. We just have a quick recap of the sessions we had on this day, and quickly onto the scales, and it wasn't for a good reading. These weight limits for the kids really, aren't they? Yeah. But yeah, these weight limits here, 162 kilos driver plus kart. I'm actually 174, so I'm a little bit over. But there we go. Thank you so much for watching. My season UKC is coming up very soon. Big shout out to Quadrant, of course, for backing me for this season. And thank you so much, of course, to all of you for the support on this channel. The first round is in early June. I'll bring out a video then. In the meantime, take care. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.